Hello everybody, Penguin here, and today I'm going to be kicking off my new channel, Penguin Games, with an analysis replay. I'm going to be analyzing the ZvP play of Kreator, the blue Zerg here on Metropolis. He's going to be playing against EG's Axslav, spawning as the red Protoss in the bottom of spawn location. This isn't really going to be so much a cast, this is just going to be me analyzing the play of Kreator. He uses a really awesome style that I've actually decided that I'm going to try to adopt, but yep, we'll see as we get right into it to what exactly he likes to do here. And things are just going to be starting out pretty standard. He is going to go for a 14 pool here. And actually kind of interesting, Axslav is opting for a pylon right by the mineral line here. He actually goes gateway first in this game, if I'm not mistaken. So this build would work versus Forge Fast Expand just as well. So don't worry. So yeah, Axslav is going to be throwing up a gateway when he has the money at 12 supply. He's already got another probe queued up here. But we are here to watch Kreator. And we'll see him throw down a spawning pool momentarily as soon as he has the money at 14. And basically this opens up a lot of different paths you can go down in the early game. Bly likes to play a style where he goes 13 pool rather than the standard 15. 14 and 13. 13 is a little better for this, but one of the things you can do, which Bly likes to do quite a lot, and I've actually started to do that myself a bit, is what he'll do is he'll go for the 13 pool, and as soon as the pool finishes, he'll make 3 sets of Zerglings, and then try to be a little aggressive with those. If the Protoss has a cannon up, he probably won't have a complete wall off. If he's been really greedy and gone Nexus, then Gateway, then Cannon, you can actually get in there before the cannon's done, maybe even force a cancel on the cannon and get into the main. Generally, what you'll see a player do is they'll go for a Nexus down here, then a Cannon, then a Gateway. In that case, the Cannon will be done, but you can run past the Cannon, and 3 or 4, 2 if you're really unlucky, but 3 or 4 Zerglings should survive. You can put on quite a bit of harassment in the main, and of course, if you keep them alive, you can scout for pretty much a lot of the early game, because they really need a Stalker to clean up the Zerglings. And it takes a long time to actually get a Stalker out with a Forge first. Anyway, Kreator is not really going to be able to do that simply because Axslav did go for a gateway first option. So he will finish up this spawning pool. As soon as that's done, he opts to go for a queen and 2 Zerglings, 2 sets of Zerglings. The 2 sets of Zerglings are pretty much just to deal with the pylon. He did scout that it was gateway first with this Overlord, so as a result, he decided not to go for any aggression. He's just going for the standard 4 Zerglings to deal with the pylon. Axslav ends up canceling that pylon, so he does get the hatch down without actually needing the second set of Zerglings. And of course, it's nice to have 2 or 4 Zerglings out on the map, just because you can be really active with them, like what he's doing right here. You can take out this probe, and taking out those probes is really crucial. And even if you don't manage to get the probe, you can have them running around the map, trying to find the proxy pylons that the evil probe could throw down. Additionally, what we'll probably see him do is grab the Xel'Naga watchtowers on a map like Metropolis. That is so crucial because it pretty much covers the entire walking area, unless he decides to go this really long route, in which case I think you can actually also see that as well, just because of how narrow this choke is. But these Xel'Naga watchtowers, yeah, you would be able to see it if you move down there as well. So a really nice to hold on to these Xel'Naga watchtowers on this map in particular. All maps, the Xel'Naga watchtowers, pretty crucial things to have, especially since you have such cheap units like Zerglings. We see him try to put on a bit of pressure here. Even actually will get this probe, so that poor little probe going to die as well. Additionally, he does throw this hatchery up. The timing of the hatchery is such that he gets it approximately when the spawning pool finishes. We saw that earlier. As soon as he's able to get the pylon down, he throws down the hatchery. One thing you'll notice about this build is that he's not going for the standard really fast third hatchery. And that's something that I really like on maps like this, or maybe Tal'Darim Altar, where it's harder to take your third. And in this game, it's not... on this map, rather. Third tries the charm. On this map, it's not super difficult to take your third. It's really just hard to defend it against early pushes. If he goes for something like a Forge Fast Expand into 4-gate pressure, he can get some Zealots in there and do a lot of damage before you can actually react because of these rocks that are in the way. What he opts for is he opts for a 6-minute hatchery, so a little later than you would see standardly. And he will throw that down right about now. So he still goes for a pretty economically intensive build, but it's a very safe build as well, because if you see your opponent going for something like 1-base play, or even really early 2-base play like a 6-gate push, you can be really ready for it, because being on 2 bases, you don't have to spend the additional 300 minerals in investment into this hatchery, so you can really have a lot more units on the field if you really need to. Additionally, around the 6-minute 20 mark, he throws down his Roach Warren. Roaches are not going to be all that crucial in this game, but it's important to have that Roach Warren up just to deal with early pressure, and if he decides to go for a 2-base all-in play, Roaches are going to be so important. Roachling is pretty much your ticket to holding most 2-base play out of Protosses. Now, just looking over here, we are going to be seeing Axslav getting +1 now. It's pretty late considering that he went gateway first. That's one of the downsides of doing that. But he's just continuing to macro up. He's going to be playing a pretty standard game, not even going to go for a 2-base all-in, not even going to go for a 2-base push, really, if I'm not mistaken. Getting a robo facility, that's going to be very nice for observers. He's already rallied it, so he is going to be going observers first. We see Kreator getting his lair approximately around the 7-minute mark. Basically, this is, he got this when he had 100 gas. He pulled his guys off gas when he had enough for speed, and then after that was able to throw them back on gas. And I actually have the timings written down. Let me just see what they are exactly. Yeah, so as soon as he gets the 100 gas, he pulls the guys off gas to get Zergling speed. He puts them back on gas approximately when he gets the 3rd hatchery. So he gets this 3rd hatchery, throws up the 2nd gas, and sends guys back onto the 1st gas around then. He then gets the lair when he has 100 gas. Now this Roach Warren is done. He's getting 5 roaches out on the field. This is pretty much just a precaution. He hasn't really seen all that much. He doesn't know quite what's going on down here. Just taking a look at his scouting information, he doesn't know the gas timings. He doesn't really know all that much at all. He scouted, I think, around the 6-minute mark, or 6:30-minute mark, so... However, now he does know that he is knocking down these 3rd rocks. You can see this with these Zerglings down here. So he knows he's taking a 3rd, so as a result, he's going to cease roach production and immediately go straight into mass drone. We've got 12 drones on the way, and he's also going to be grabbing gases numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6. So... you can already tell that he's not planning on going for any sort of major all-in just because he's getting all these extra gases. He's either going to go into Infestor play or Mutalisk play. And it is going to be Mutalisk play. I'm going to just spoil that for you right now. And he is actually going to get this Observer in here. Won't be able to kill it off because the Overseer is rallied. And actually, is he? Is he going to kill the Observer? Kill the Observer! Nope. Observer gets away. Anyway. He's spreading his creep pretty well. He hasn't joined these 2 bases up. A little bit of a mistake there. I would like to see him do that. Anyway, yeah, where are we? Here we go. Spire going down right now, around the 9-minute 40 mark. Also getting a macro hatchery around the same time. This is a pretty nice timing for a macro hatch. He's also gotten more roaches out. The reason for this is just to be able to hold against some sort of minor light pressure. And he has about 15 roaches out on the field. Now he's going to stop roach production for the rest of the game, if I'm not mistaken. He's getting a few lings out on the field as well. This is not any sort of like massive pushing force or anything. Basically, this is just enough units to be able to defend against light pressure. If your opponent decides to warp in a few rounds of Zealots and come and push at you with those, this is the kind of unit composition that you're going to need to be able to deal with that pretty well. He's going to be knocking down these rocks as well. On Metropolis, you really want to do this. It makes it much, much easier to defend those bases. Also, get rid of these rocks as quickly as possible. You don't want to have a choke as Zerg in most cases. He's also being pretty late with his 4th. He's sending out his drone right now. He's going to grab his 4th around the 11-minute mark, so he's going to be grabbing that 4th right about now. His hatchery timings are a little later than you would see standardly in a ZvP game, so that's one of the cool things about this. It's a very, very safe build, and now, at about the 11-minute mark, he's going to be getting, where are they? He has double Evo Chambers. There they are, yeah. So double Evo Chambers at the 11-minute mark as well. Also very, very late for starting upgrades. The Stefano style, you see 1 Evo Chamber down at the 6-minute mark. But yeah, he's going to be getting those now. Additionally, he's going to be pushing now, putting on some pressure with these Zerglings and Roaches while he's making as many Mutalisks as he possibly can. He's going to make a total of 14 or 15 Mutalisks, and because he's going Mutalisks, it's very crucial for him to take out the Cybernetics core, because upon destroying the Cybernetics core, no more Stalkers can be warped in, and Stalkers are going to be the primary defense against those Mutalisks. So this is really, really nice play that we're seeing out of Kreator. He pulls back, doesn't want to overcommit, also sends his Zerglings in here, kills several workers, 6 workers. He tries to focus down the hatchery. He's not going to be able to focus it down, but even if he knows he's not going to be able to focus it down, he can weaken it as much as possible, which is going to make it really, really easy for the Mutalisks to take out. So, Axslav holds. Now, Kreator has a whole lot of Mutalisks that are out on the map already. 5 more about to pop as well. So now, he's going to go for Pressure 2.0. He's going to go for Mutalisk Pressure now, and this is going to be able to do so much damage because the Cybernetics core was taken down. I believe he's already managed to finish rebuilding it somewhere. If not, he's really late on rebuilding it. No, Axslav has not rebuilt the Cybernetics core just yet, so... oh no, there it is. Anyway, he's going to be able to move into the main with these Mutalisks. He's got about 12 Mutalisks moving on in here, and there's not all that much in the way of Stalkers. Now, he didn't actually engage the Stalkers. He went for the Mineral Line instead. He saw that there were a lot of probes there, was able to take out 12 of them. Now he's getting to a point where he has a critical mass of Mutalisks that are going to be able to do a lot of damage. Also notice that he has started 1-1 now as well. The 1-1 started approximately at the 13-minute mark. So very, very late timing. He's also going to get an Infestation Pit. As soon as the Infestation Pit finishes, he'll want Pathogen Glands. Here we see another Zergling run by trying to take out this third base. Meanwhile, the Mutalisks are going into the main and ravaging the Stalkers, because Stalkers are not that good against Mutalisks if the Mutalisks are at this sort of number. He loses quite a few to these Stalkers, but it ends up being pretty cost efficient because all of a sudden there's not really any defense in this main. And while he loses a lot of Mutalisks, all of a sudden he can take out this entire mineral line if he so desires. Zerglings once again not quite able to take out the Nexus down here, but he continues with the pressure. Always, another thing to note about Mutalisks, if you're playing Mutalisks against Stalkers, you want to be focusing down individual Stalkers, especially if he has Blink. Otherwise, he'll be able to Blink back, and the auto-target will just auto-target Stalkers that are closest. So you won't really kill any. More Mutalisks flying on in, he's going to be able to take these out. His fourth base is now long done. He's going to be able to sneak in several drones, making about 8, trying to just get his economy up a little more. And he is going to finally run out with these Mutalisks, finally forced out by these Stalkers. But so much damage has been done. 29 worker kills at this point in the game. Now he's going to be getting gases numbers 7 and 8 at the 15-minute mark. Now he's pretty much producing nothing but Zerglings and Mutalisks. He's going pure Ling Muta. He knows that his opponent can't really hold off. He's killed his opponent's army numerous times. Not all of it, but a lot of it. There's these Immortals that are pretty much useless. He knows that there's dead weight in this army. Immortals are going to be useless against this composition. So he's going to be able to push back in here with Zergling Mutalisk. He realizes that this is a very low health Nexus, and he goes straight for the Nexus with all of his units. Down goes the Nexus, and he's on 4 base. Behind this, he grabs a 5th, so he's in amazing position economically. He pulls out, doesn't want to overcommit, and this is something Kreator is great at. He doesn't overcommit very often at all. Like, he just does as much damage as he can, pulls out, realizes when a battle is lost, and just doesn't go for it. Manages to break on through. Once again, sees there's too much to deal with. He pulls right on out. Goes for the third. The third hasn't been rebuilt yet. There we go. It is going to be rebuilt, but he's able to pull back out now. He's continuing to produce nothing but Zerglings and Mutalisks. He is only now starting Pathogen Glands. This was an error on his part. He actually made a second Infestation Pit. So just ignore that. Just a little bit of an error. Everyone makes mistakes. He's continuing to make drones slowly but surely. He's not, and this is the cool thing about this build. It's not one of the builds where you want to get like 82 drones at 12 minutes. You slowly but surely work your way up to there. And he's actually going to be up to 87 drones at this point, because you don't need that many drones when you're going for a Ling Muta composition. I mean, you don't need that much supply when you're going for a Ling Muta composition, because Mutalisks are really supply cheap. And here we go. We're going to be seeing him pushing again. He realizes this is open. He knows that he can really kill off this stuff a lot, really, really easily. He goes for the Nexus once again. He knows this Nexus is not even done yet, so he's going to confine Axslav to 1 base of mining. This is totally worth it since he's on 5. Down goes the Nexus. He's going to pull back out here, moving away from the Stalkers, finds all of these gas-intensive units, and is able to kill them off, even if he loses these several of these Mutalisks. This is still a great trade for him because of how many gas-intensive units he's gotten. Now he just continues to pour in Mutalisks. He's getting 2-2 behind this, and he's going to continue just pouring in Mutalisks and Zerglings. He'll pull out at this point. He pulls out right now, but he's in such a good position. He's already won this game. Just look at the supply. 83 to 178. Finally getting a hive behind this. Getting gases numbers 9 and 10. And more Zerglings streaming out across the map. The hive would have been done earlier if he'd actually not made the mistake with the Infestation Pit. So do keep that in mind. This is a late hive. It's a little later than it should be with the build. And now pretty much what he does now, just going to pause it quickly. Just because this is about to be, I just want to discuss this. Basically, he's got these Mutalisks, he's got these Zerglings, he's been going Muta-Ling for pretty much the entire game, and now is where he makes the switch. He continues to make Zerglings to back up this push, because he wants this push to kill Axslav. But in the event that the push doesn't kill Axslav, he starts Infestor production. And one thing you'll notice is that he has 2 making right now, he's about to make 7 more, as soon as the supply space opens up. By the time it opens, he'll have the gas for it. But basically, what he does now is this push is intended to kill Axslav, but if it doesn't, he's falling back on Hive Tech, also starting to produce those Infestors that are going to be really, really crucial in holding off a counterattack if Axslav actually decides to go for it, or if Axslav is alive to go for it, rather. And here we go. Kreator's going to be moving on in again, going to be able to focus down this Nexus once again. Really nice micro on the Mutalisks, keeping them away from those short-range Archons, which do so much damage. And now these High Templar do not have the energy for Storm, so he goes right in, and he should be focusing them. There we go. He focuses down the High Templar, and only manages to morph 1 into an Archon. 1 will survive and get a Storm, but the Storm kills almost nothing. He's lost his 3rd again, and he still has about 46 workers, but this Nexus at the Natural still rebuilding. He's got no income. He's trying to make a mothership, but he's got no income. We see Kreator making 7 Infestors that I was talking about, comes back in, 40 more Lings in production, and even though he's only got 1-1 at this point in the game, 2-2 about to finish, but even though he's only got 1-1, he's just able to swarm on in with so many units that he can't really do anything about it. And Axslav will lose this game. There's a GG from Axslav. Kreator taking that win. And yeah, this has been my first replay trying to analyze rather than cast, so I do hope I did a relatively decent job, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do subscribe. You will be seeing more content out of me, both casting-wise and playthrough-wise. I'm actually doing a few playthroughs for this channel. As of now, I can't upload videos longer than 15 minutes, which makes playthroughs kind of hard, so those will probably only start being uploaded a little while from now, as soon as I'm enabled for that. But until then, expect more StarCraft content out of me, and I will see you guys later. I was going to say next time, but that's Husky's line. I will see you guys later, at some point, when I upload another video.